Most people that have found extraordinary inner peace within their inner man believe in some sort of higher power. So, if you've ever met someone who, no matter what's going on in their life, no matter what's going on in the world, they seem to have this compass, this groundedness about them, a peace even about them, even in the midst of chaotic circumstances. Okay? So what distinguishes those types of people from the rest of the world? And as a Christian, I would love to say it's just simply faith. And I'm here to tell you, apparently it's not. Because there's people who do not have a Christian faith, who have found peace that is beyond understanding. Okay? So, I am introducing you with that concept because I feel that we give simplistic answers to things because we want to seem faithful, but we don't truly understand what we're talking about. And that goes right into what I'm talking about, finding your authentic self. Okay? This is going to be good, so listen. I have been on this journey, and I'm going to give examples from my own life because I have been on this journey of finding my authentic self, and it was birthed from a desire to no longer depend on the outside world or circumstances or outcomes or results for my happiness. Okay? And I had to check myself. I had to redefine some things in my life in order to do that. And it's probably going to take more than one video to describe this to you. But I do want to take you through some key steps to get you along your way. And we can pick it up from there maybe in another video. But so one of the first things I want to say when I'm talking about finding your authentic self is, ironically, finding your authentic self has nothing really, first and foremost, is not really about you. It's about you connecting with your creator or a higher power, whatever you want to call it. Okay? And I'm saying this for the sake of those listening because I don't want you to get distracted by details, okay, that are not really necessary. Because people, regardless of their faith, regardless of their beliefs, most people that have found extraordinary inner peace within their inner man believe in some sort of higher power or universe or whatever. Okay? There's something about them that has decided in their minds that there is something out there, okay, that is for their good, not against them, but for them. That may have a set of rules, may have a set of beliefs that if they go along with those rules and go along with those beliefs, they're generally simplistic, nothing complicated, that they are entering into the flow of all of everything else created as well. Okay? That includes nature, the sun rising and setting, just the tick-tock of life. Okay? And people have found that if they get along with that flow, they flow like that river, they just find that steadiness, they can obtain inner peace within themselves. Okay? And for me, that is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? That's just for me. I have found irrefutable evidence of his very presence in my life. So it's hard for me to look outside of that. Like I'm settled in that area. But if you're settled in something else, that's fine. You do you. Okay? But I want to say that the first key to finding your authentic self is ironically nothing to do with you, but everything to do with what's outside you. Okay? That greater purpose that is beyond just what you see on this earth. Okay? And when I say connecting with this creator, I don't mean this one-time event of salvation or this one-time event where you just kind of make your peace with God or you have a mano-a-mano with the universe, okay? No. I want you to think of it as it's this encompassing sphere, Okay, this concept of getting in touch with your Creator. It's the encompassing sphere in which everything else we're going to talk about today exists within that sphere. Okay, it's that line that goes down. All the steps I'm talking about, this getting in touch with your Creator it's on the margins of all of those things, because it's a never-ending process, and it's constant. Okay, especially as your life changes and you need to recenter, as things in your life happen or the whole world goes crazy. So that's first thing, okay? Getting in touch with your Creator. And especially, and I do want to say, because I see this lacking a lot in Christians. I think that's why that this is something that I want to direct towards Christians especially, is because I'm talking about getting in touch with your Creator outside of a church setting, even outside of your day-to-day petitions or religiosity. And by religiosity, I mean the list of things you do and don't do because I'm a Christian. Okay? Outside of all of that, I'm talking about having a true sense of His presence in your life, and that you are walking with one another in life, and that He is a guiding force, a guiding light, a heavenly Father. Okay? And this is going to be very important as I continue to talk about this. Okay? So I don't have to go any further with that, because it's just going to be manifested, I think, as I continue to talk about finding your authentic self. So the second part of this is knowing who you are. Okay? Knowing who you are and being okay with the unknown. This is important too, because yes, you can think you know yourself, but do you really know yourself? Okay? Because you have to know you outside of the influence of any and everything else. Outside the influence of music, outside the influence of Real Housewives, outside the influence of politics, outside the influence of the little nuances of life's different opinions or different, even your feelings. Okay? You have to be known. You have to know yourself outside of all of those things. Okay? What is it that you truly care about? What truly gets you excited? What brings you a sense of fulfillment? Okay? And being okay with the unknown things about you, the uncertain things about you. Okay? And I have written here, being honest about your desires and priorities. Okay? That's one of the things how you can get to know thyself. Being honest about your desires and your priorities in life. Okay? And you can write these things down, and if you have an issue with either one of these things for any number of reasons, change it. You can change it. Okay? Because we live in a world of mixed messages. We live in a world where people are literally defining themselves based on who they're sexually attracted to. Like, you are defining yourself on something, defining yourself on who you have sex with. That is a very shallow, surface level way to define yourself. Okay? I am more than my attraction to men. I am more than a desire to be in intimacy with a man. I'm so much more than that. My God, I cannot imagine defining my very existence on that one thing. So it's a part of who you are, but it is not the sum of your existence. That's very dangerous. Very dangerous. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I work in mental health. I have been for the past 12 years. For several of those years, I worked in a inpatient drug rehab program. Okay? And I was a girl. I had both my parents growing up. I lived a very exciting life and fulfilled life growing up. I wasn't sheltered, but I wasn't unnecessarily exposed to things either. So it was just this really good childhood. And when I worked in this drug rehab program, I was in a situation where I was encountering people who lived lifestyles that were completely different than my own. And one of the things that I learned a lot, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, because there's so much that I have to say about those things and what I've learned watching people and connecting with those people, is that everybody has a story. Everybody has a reason why they do the things they do. But we often get caught up in the wrong things because we define ourselves based on something that happened to us, based on our wants and our desires, whether that's sexual, whether that's a desire for significance, desire for wealth, money, stability, security, whatever those things are, we define our very existence on those things. And we create an identity based on a desire that is in and of itself not a complete statement of who we are as a person, okay? And in that sense, it could be considered vanity, okay? So, and I want to say that when I'm talking about being in touch with your true desires, okay, before I get into anything else, I do want to say I'm not talking about making excuses. I'm not talking about self-justification. I am not talking about people who justify evil or wrongdoing. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about embracing evil. Okay? And you might say, well, Desiree, how do I know what evil is? Well, that's why we go back to the first point of knowing and getting in touch with your Creator, because only the Creator of all the things that we see, touch, feel, and don't see can be a deciding factor of what's right and wrong. Only the person who created you, created all around you, created what was all around you, and all the rules and all the laws of nature, only that being can truly tell you what is right and what is wrong, what exists within the boundaries and outside the boundaries. Okay, do you want someone who specializes in, let's say, car engines to fix your Apple computer, or do you want the person that created the Apple computer itself to teach you about it and tell you how to correct things that's wrong with it, right? So it only makes sense for this right and wrong thing. That's something that you're going to have to find within yourself. But don't fool yourself in thinking that there is no such thing as right and wrong. Okay, and that we as the creation, we don't get to decide what that is. Okay, you start accepting that, you're well on your way to good things. Okay, so I just wanted to say that before I get into all of this, because most people in your life that you accuse of being fake, of being just not authentic, those people are that way because they're trying to present themselves in a false reality. Okay, because of fear of who they really are behind closed doors won't be accepted, because they're trying to live up to, like I was talking about, this schema of religiosity of which you're supposed to do or not supposed to do as a Christian. You're going to see me do that a lot with that. Just going to set you free. And then even someone who loves the Lord, okay, and is a follower of Jesus Christ and his teachings, okay, or maybe you're just someone who loves your family, you love your culture, and you don't want to go against what they want you to do, you know what I'm saying? But even as a Christian, for example, if you find yourself going down a different course than what you have been taught to, or made to understand is right, okay, that can cause you to deny your authentic self, your true desires and your true priorities. And let me just close by saying this. On your journey of finding your authentic and true self, you really have to get in touch with what is the real you right now and not worry about anything else. Okay? Even if it falls outside those boundaries of right and wrong, even if it's something that maybe you don't want anyone else to know, getting in touch with your true desires, and also getting in touch with your true priorities. What is important to you? Because, especially as Christians, we can spend countless hours a week listening to someone else telling us what needs to be important in our life. And that's why you're not in touch with your authentic self. And that's why you're not happy. Okay? And my desire in this channel is to help people to find health and happiness, wellness, mind, body, spirit. I trust God to get me where I need to go. I trust Him to align my path. And I also believe in the grace of Jesus Christ, that in spite of my faults, I'm going to get to where I need to be, where I was destined to be. Okay? So, the less I care about what others think of me, the less I care about meeting other people's expectations, and we'll be talking about that in another video. All of those things create interference. And when you're trying to live up to someone that you think you should be, or you're living up to an expectation of other people, all of those things are dangerous. I was my own worst enemy. I have to say that I was living up to an expectation of which I created myself. I don't think there's anyone in my life that ever put pressure on me to be, there were people that put pressure on me to be a certain kind of way. But I'm the one that takes full responsibility for allowing their schematics to enter into my blueprint. That's my fault. And I want to encourage you to release yourself of your own expectations, release yourself of the expectations of others. Okay? That's why the first thing is to get in touch with your Creator, because without a sense of what's up and what's down, you're going to get completely confused. Okay? And your feelings are going to end up being what leads you and guides you. And successful people are not led by their feelings. They're not controlled by their desires. But it's okay for you to learn what those things are. And in learning what your desires are, finding peace within that. Okay? And taking steps to meet those desires. If that's something that you know is going to bring you happiness and fulfillment. And how will you know if you don't get it? Right? Now, if you get it and you're still unhappy, that's not a bad thing either, because at least you know that whatever you thought was going to be wrapped up in that package that you wanted so bad is not. That's good. You can check it off your list. And you know that, well, there's something else out there. I need to reevaluate all these things that we're talking about. Reevaluate your desires. Reevaluate your priorities. Sometimes we live by schematics that have been placed on our blueprint that we didn't realize we came into agreement with and allowed to be put in our blueprint. And it has created this expectation and this, that it's an expectation that kind of attaches itself to your desire. You know? Like a virus. And you need to get rid of viral expectations. Okay? That have nothing to do with your core authentic self. So I know this was a long video. If you stayed this whole time, please like, please subscribe. The liking helps with the algorithm on YouTube. I am producing content that is about wholeness, wellness, finding your health and finding your happiness, okay? Inside and out. Mind, body, and spirit. Okay, you got to have all of those together. So thank you again for watching, and we're going to continue this conversation, finding your authentic self. Okay, leave a comment below how this has helped you or impacted you. Thank you so much. Bye.